Okay, we are back, and let's go ahead and take a stab at making this SFC program. Really simple. I'm sure we'll be in and out of this one in no time. So let's go ahead and add our SFC and get this project set up. My famous SFC1, because I'm so unimaginative when it comes to creating names for programs. And we will call it to make sure that it runs when the time comes. Let's maximize this, and I'm just going to jump right in. So let's create a few steps, and let's go ahead and give that a really cool name like Step 1, because that's what I had planned on whenever I was writing this project up. Step 2 and Step 3. And I'm also going to just call these TR1 and that'll be a bool. TR2, that'll be a bool, and TR3. Okay, and then this right now is pointing back to init. Well, init doesn't actually exist anymore. We want to go back to either step 1 or step 2. So this is going to go back to step 1, and then we're also going to create out a parallel branch. We'll call that TR4, and this one will jump us out and take us to step 2. Okay, that looks simple enough. Now let's set up our times. So let's come in here to time overview. Step 1, minimal time. That's going to be T-pound 10S. And let's go ahead and copy that because I want that to be for step 2 and step 3. Okay, so just like that, I've got my timing set up. Then step 1 is going to automatically transition into step 2. So I'm going to come in here, use a ladder, and I'm going to make that real simple. I'm just going to put a direct coil which energizes TR1, and that's always going to be energized. And there we go. Now when we get to step 2, we've got to do things a little bit differently. Let's jump in here. I'll do another ladder just because we're doing simple relay logic, so ladders are very appropriate for that. And we're going to have a contact, and this is going to be our bool, so let's just call that bool 1. That's pretty simple. And based on that, once that's energized, then we will go ahead and transition to. All right. And then we also need an exit counter here. So let's go ahead and right click on that, add an exit action. And we will do another ladder as well. And let's just drop a block right here. Let's go and find our CTU. Got it. Reset. I'll just go ahead and make that false because we don't need to reset it for this program. And for my PV, I'll call that maybe 100 should be good. And I'll call this step 2 CTU. Why not, right? Okay, and I'm not sure if that's going to be managed every time according to the exit action, but that will either count or it won't count, and we will see. And just in case, I'll go ahead and put a CV on here so I can monitor it more easily, and that'll be my step 2 count. And that will be, of course, a DINT, not a bool dent, but a dent. Okay, so let's close out of there, and now we've got step 2 done, and then for step 3, we need another bool that's going to select which way we go out of there. So we're either going to go to TR3 or TR4. Let's come right up here, and I will add a network. And let's put an XIC looking at bool 2. And if bool 2 is energized, then let's go ahead and coil TR4. And if the opposite is true, let's go ahead and, actually I called that dual 2. I don't want to create duals, I want to create bools. That's more like it. And in that case, we'll go ahead and energize TR3. Okay? And that should do it. I think I've got this thing all set up. So with that, I will go ahead and break. That was a really short, sweet, and simple project, but at the same time, SFCs, there's not a lot to them, especially in this environment. It makes for some easy programming. And we don't really want to spend a lot of time creating actions and things like that in here, because at that point we're really just practicing the other paradigms. For this, I mean, you know, we've really done what SFCs can do. Now all that's left is just to watch it work. So let's come back in the next and I will fire this up and see how I did.